Tennis is a sport that teaches you so many things. It is a sport that requires you to be mentally and physically stable and in shape. In my early 40s, I started having a little bit of knee pain. I was playing and I heard a pop. It was loud. I immediately went down to the ground. I was in just excruciating pain. I had to replace my ACL. After the ACL surgery, they were giving me opioids for the pain, and the pain was intense. I did become dependent on opioids, and it caused major issues for me. Getting off the opioids was very, very difficult. I was not nearly as sharp. I wasn't as focused as I should be. It was probably a good 2 years before I felt normal again. It made me realize I did not want to ever go through that again. When I was 12 years old, I went to England to visit my mother's side of the family. That's my mother on the left and my grandmother on the right.
That's where it all started?
I fell in love with it. It was so much fun.
Please tell me that you burned those shoes when you got back to the United States.
But I was quite the hit over there with those shoes, I might add.
I bet you were, and the haircut too.
Hey, that was happening. I played junior circuits from the time I was 14 years old, all the way till I graduated from high school. I played Division I tennis at University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Went into corporate America and did that for about 30 years. I always still played tennis actively and competitively, but when I retired, I said, I want to go in and teach tennis, and so I started my own academy and started teaching kids, and I never really quit playing tennis once I started.
I love that he was an athlete, that he was dedicated to something like that, and I was very supportive and joyful in his accomplishments. Let's get your hair all fluffed up here. Ready, 1, 2, 3.
I started having a little bit of knee pain. I'd had pains before and then, rolled my ankle and tweaked things. Of course, I would put a brace on and wear it and play through it. Doctors said, hey, you've put a lot of wear and tear on your knees. Your meniscus joints are wearing out quick. And sure enough, that was causing problems. And then, of course, I got arthritis in both knees eventually. Then it just kind of migrated into the point where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't walk, I had to crawl up and down stairs. The grandkids always want to wrestle, but can't wrestle with them because I can't get down there. If I did get down there, I couldn't get back up. They had no choice but to do a total knee replacement on my right knee. I was very apprehensive after having that ACL surgery I did years before. I did not want to go through that stuff again.
I found a non-opioid option that allowed patients to control their pain, and if this could be an option for Mark for having his knee replaced, then this was something I wanted to research a little bit more. I sought out a surgeon. We scheduled this surgery and we're ready to go.
Went into surgery. I woke up. I had some discomfort in my knee and I was a little nausea from anesthesia. I said, I don't really feel any pain. Within a couple of weeks, I was walking. 3.5 months, I was playing tennis.
After Mark had his knee replacement, I knew this was something that I wanted to be a part of. And that's how I found out about Pacira. There are non-opioid therapies that will allow patients to control their pain prior to, up to, and then after surgery. And so I did my darndest to come to work for Pacira.
Early in 2022, I was involved in a very severe car accident. My truck rolled over 3 times and both my knees got jammed into the dashboard. I thought I had re-damaged both of my knees. This is the picture of my truck the next day. Something hit me on the side. Next thing I know, I'm running into a telephone pole and then I don't remember anything after that. I woke up, I was hanging upside down by my seatbelt, had no idea what was going on.
Having an accident that really hurt his knees again and being afraid that maybe he damaged the first knee or kind of exasperated the need for the replacement on the second knee, I had to come up with some different options that we could utilize, and luckily there are injections that go directly into the knee, and then there's also a cold therapy that can be utilized to be able to postpone his surgery until it was a time that worked for us and his schedule and in our life.
So my wife sought out another surgeon. We blatantly just said, hey, do you use non-opioid option? He says, absolutely. The second knee replacement went better than the first one. Virtually no pain, and was immediately up and going. Within 2 weeks, I was back to pretty much a normal life.
Anytime you have an option to use opioids or not use opioids, this is something that each individual patient has to determine, and they have to work alongside their healthcare provider to make those decisions together. Our life now is very different than it was a few years ago. He's walking right beside me. We're doing things together. We're climbing up hills or playing with grandchildren. When someone is in pain and they're in pain all the time, you alter your life. And our life is now switched back to pre-pain. And that's lovely.
I live a very full life. I'm very active, could work out, training for the tournament. I can play with my grandkids. I can ride my bike. Me and my wife can go for walks. I'm 65 years old. My life is what it should be.